Welcome to my channel. Learn to speak English. Listen and practice.
A garment worker. Persons working in a garments factory are garments workers. An ordinary garments worker in our country leads a very laborious life. His or her day starts very early in the morning and ends at about 10 p.m. They start working place at about 7 a.m. There has to go a long way every day to reach the factory. They go to the factory on foot, sometimes on the way to the destination. She or he is teased with slang words from various corners. He or she is to tolerate all bad comments. In the factory, he or she works in a congested room. There is no seat to sit upon. She eats the poor lunch with her colleagues in the factory. Almost every day, he or she takes his or her lunch from home. She is given a break for half an hour. Within this time, she cannot take lunch from her house. She works in the factory for long hours till deep at night. She likes working in a factory rather than in a household. She is used to overworking. Though he or she gets a very poor salary, she or he spends it very wisely. She or he leads a very simple life. In a word, a major portion of national income depends upon his or her hard work. So he or she should have better opportunities in the factory and society to lead a better life. The Life of a Garment Worker Essay. Introduction. The life of garment workers is a difficult one. Garments workers, most of them female, work very hard for earning their living. In spite of their hard labor, they get a very small salary. With whatever salary they get, they cannot live decently. Everyday work. A garments worker has to work long hours. When she works the morning shift, she has to go to work very early in the morning. She often starts her work half-fed or on an empty stomach. In the factory, she gets some lunch at noon and then starts her work again. She has to work very attentively. Whenever she gets a little unmindful, she is severely chastised by the supervisor. She gets no rest during work. Her female colleagues are on good terms with him, but sometimes she is harassed by her male colleagues. In excess of her regular hours, she has to work some extra hours. When she works the night shift, she has to work the whole night. Her fragile body cannot tolerate such terrible labor. In spite of that, she has to keep working. Often fatigue engulfs her, and when her body can take it no more, she swoons. Then her colleagues sprinkle some water on her face, and after some rest, she again works till the end of her shift. Sometimes she falls ill, but she cannot stop. She has to finish her stint. On her way home, she often buys groceries, vegetables, and other necessary items. After returning home, she feels extremely tired, but she has to prepare food for herself and other family members. Then she can get sleep for some inadequate hours before getting up for the next day's work. Salary. In spite of such laborious work, she seldom gets her salary in time. Even sometimes she does not get a salary for 2 or 3 consecutive months. Then she has to borrow money from her friends and family members. She cannot pay the grocer or the landlord in time. At times, the landlord evicts her for not paying the rent for some months. Housing. A garments worker cannot afford to live in a decent house. She lives in a slum or shares a shabby room with some of her colleagues. Even the rent of such a low-quality house sometimes seems a big matter to her. Dream. A garment worker also dreams of a happy family with children and a loving husband, but there is a high possibility that her husband will get drunk every night and beat her up for money. There is little chance that she will be able to send her children to school. Conclusion. On the whole, the life of a garment worker is a miserable one. So, the government should ensure that the factory owners treat the garment workers well and pay them adequately. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment and share.